Because the biggest fear, the biggest problem with fear is that fear isolates us. Fear makes us think we're the only one who's ever done this. I'm the only one who's ever been in this situation. I cannot survive this by myself. And we need to know that we're not alone. We're not alone. A friend this week discovered that they had cancer. And I was relaying a story to that person about, actually, my mother-in-law, Joan, who some of you know, Karen's mom, who 20 years ago discovered she had cancer. And at that time, I had a person in my congregation who, you know, you always have the people who have the heart of gold, but they got a tongue like a razor. I used to love this woman, and I'd known her for many, many years, but she was not the kindest, gentlest, understanding human being you'd ever want to be around in a rough moment, because she was as tough as nails and as sharp as a tack. And I happened to let it slip in her hearing that Joan had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And this woman immediately reels around and says, "You got to send her to talk to me." And I went, like, no. Like, that would be like sending, a package of sandpaper in to soften a skin itch or something. No, I'm not going to do that. And she said, "Yeah, you have to." She says, "Because I'm a survivor. I've had it 25 years ago." And I went, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't tell anybody. But send her to me." And she became the most sensitive, compassionate person to journey with Joan through that time frame in her life. And she knows to this day that if Verla hadn't been there, she probably wouldn't have got through it. She went through it not alone. She went through it with another survivor. And it was that "I'm not alone" that gave her the sense to go on. Now, at 86 years of age, I have lunch with her every Monday, and she's the one telling me to get my life together and keep it intact and keep my thing, and not to know that I'm ever alone. She's a straight arrow who teaches life to anybody who wants to hear it, and faith about knowing who's with you. And that's the power of God. You see, God works through people. So when we connect, like we do in this congregation, with people, we know we are not alone. And even though I have the smallest of faith, I have the biggest of hope. And that's where fear cannot get in. That's why you can watch Olympians do great things, because they know they're not alone. They work together. What I find remarkable about all these people who win, they compete against each other, and then they go and hug each other because they have worked and trained together. They're a community. They're a community of life, and they're a community of hope. And that while they may compete against one another, they are always supporting one another. Can you think of a better description for the church? People who muster up enough faith to support one another, even when our own lives feel out of control. And then we find that God